You ever talk to a younger woman? The conversation feels fine, and then suddenly she goes cold, checks her phone, and you walk away thinking, what the hell did I do wrong? Or you crack one joke, she smiles politely, then starts flirting with some 28-year-old guy next to you, and you feel 100 years old in 2 seconds. Set that feeling aside for a moment, because what you think is rejection is often something else. You just failed a test you didn't even know you were taking. Women, especially younger women, constantly test men, not because they're cruel or playing games, but because that's how they figure out very quickly if a man is safe, grounded, and worth their attention. If you're a man between 50 and 70, this matters more than ever because you don't get endless chances. You're being judged fast. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 quiet ways younger women test older men, why you've probably been failing those tests, and how to start passing them without turning into a try-hard teenager. The first test is what I call the silence test. You're talking, she responds. Then there's a pause, and she doesn't rush to fill it. She just lets the silence sit. Most older guys panic right there. They start talking faster, oversharing, asking a million questions, or worse, making self-deprecating jokes. Wow. I'm really boring you, huh? What is she actually checking? She's watching how you handle a little bit of social tension. A grounded man is comfortable in that small silence. He can take a slow breath, hold her eye contact, maybe give a small smile, and then calmly continue or change the topic. A man who's insecure at 55 looks exactly like an insecure boy at 25. He needs constant validation, laughs, and reassurance that she's not bored. How to pass this test? Next time there's a pause, do nothing for a second. Relax your shoulders, breathe through your nose. Look at her like you're not in a rush to impress anyone. Then say something simple and real. Anyway, you were saying about your trip? Or I like that you actually think before you answer. Most people just blur stuff out. Like, that calmness is attractive to a 25-year-old or a 45-year-old, it doesn't matter. The second test, the push away joke. You flirt a little, or you're simply being warm, and she says something like, "Careful, old man, you're trouble." Or, "Aren't you a bit too old for this?" Or playfully, "Ha ha, you're such a dad." Most men over 50 fail this instantly. They either get defensive, "I'm not that old, I'm in great shape," or they collapse, yeah, I know, I'm ancient. Here's what's really happening. She's lightly pushing you away to see if you fall over. She wants to know, does this guy have a backbone and a sense of humor about himself, or is he fragile? Passing this test is simple. You stay relaxed and playful, without apologizing for your age. She says, "Aren't you a bit too old for this?" You smile and reply, "Too old for games, yeah. Not too old to enjoy good company." She says, "You're such a dad." You reply, "Trust me, I'm much worse than a dad," with a grin, and then you move the conversation forward. You're not begging her to approve of you. You're showing you can take a jab, stay centered, and stay masculine. That's what she's actually checking. Point 3 sign. You mention your career, your business, your house, your travels, and she listens. Then she casually disagrees with you about something. Maybe it's politics, music, lifestyle, whatever. You say, "I prefer quiet nights." She says, "I'd be bored to death," with a shrug. Here's the test. She wants to see if you crumble your opinion just to stay liked. Many older men, especially successful ones, rely on their resume to feel attractive. So when a younger woman pushes back, they fold immediately. "Oh yeah, you're right. I guess quiet nights are boring." Translation: My spine is for sale if you'll keep smiling at me. Passing this test means you hold your view lightly but firmly. She says, I'd be bored to death with quiet nights. You reply, that's why you'd need the right company. Quiet can be very interesting with a small smile, or we're clearly built different. That's what makes conversation fun. You don't argue, you don't lecture, you simply don't abandon yourself to chase approval. Younger women respect a man who can disagree without becoming rigid or needy. That combination, calm plus backbone, is rare and deeply attractive. Point 4, she gives you a small invitation and watches what you do with it. Maybe she says we should grab a coffee sometime, or you should come to that bar, it's fun, or she lingers in conversation when she easily could have left. Most men either do nothing because they assume she's just being nice, or they overdo it, planning a full-blown date in a panic, texting paragraphs, checking in constantly. What's she testing? Whether you know how to take the lead without being desperate. Passing this is about simple, decisive action. She mentions coffee. You say, yeah, that could be good Thursday after work or Saturday afternoon. What suits you better? Short, clear, and then you let it breathe. If she's interested, she'll respond. If not, you move on with your dignity. Point 5, the emotional weight test. You're talking, maybe you share a bit about your divorce, your work stress, your health. She listens and then she goes a bit quiet or subtly changes the subject. Many men over 50 dump way too much emotional weight on a younger woman early on. They're lonely, they haven't been listened to, so they unload everything. She's testing if you're looking for a therapist or a woman. Passing this test means you're honest, but you don't bleed out all over her. You know, you might say, yeah, divorce wasn't fun, learned a lot about myself though, friendy. And then you pivot. What's about you ever had a breakup that taught you something? You share, but you don't collapse. That shows emotional maturity instead of emotional neediness. Put this together and you'll see a pattern. You're not failing with younger women because you're too old. You're failing their tests because you're acting like a nervous boy trapped in an older body. Silence, teasing, disagreement, small invitations, emotional topics. So none of these are random. They're all ways of asking the same question. Are you actually the grounded masculine man your age should have created, or are you just older on paper? When you stay calm, keep your spine, move decisively, and manage your own emotions, you start passing those tests almost automatically, and suddenly you stop feeling invisible. You don't need to be richer, younger, or prettier. You need to stop scrambling for approval and start acting like a man who respects himself. Next time you're with a younger woman, remember these 5 tests. Notice the silence instead of fearing it. Smile at the push-away joke. Hold your opinions without turning it into a war. Take the small invitation without begging. And share your story without asking her to carry your whole emotional history. If this opened your eyes even a little, do 2 things for yourself and for other men your age. Hit like. So YouTube shows this to more guys who need it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next straight, no-nonsense video about women and attraction after 50.